we're waiting as the rest of our judges arrive, get turned out to their breakout room. We've still got a few minutes before we really get started. So don't worry, you're not late. We're just kind of catching ourselves up.
Ian, just a quick check. Course instructor right now, is that? Yes, it's you. Okay, never mind. Answered my own question.
For those of you, if you're joining us via Zoom, we do have a number of classmates, contestants, judges, and for anyone joining us on YouTube via the live stream, we'll be getting going in just a couple of minutes. So you'll sit tight. We're getting the last of our administration tasks finished up, and then we'll get ourselves started. Keith, good to see you.
Hey, Joseph, how are you?
Awesome. Had a really good day. Oh, on brand. I love the jacket. That's good.
Oh yeah, you know, I got a rep always.
There we go.
Good to see you, Keith.
Oh, there we go. I think he got pulled out to the breakout room.
Yeah. So Drew, I sent over an invite to the judges room. There we go. Looks like that's working. I'm going to wait here for a moment, Joseph, before I pop over, just so I can pull people in.
Totally.
Actually, maybe I'll pop over and pop back so that I can explain what's going on.
Jake, good to see you.
Joseph, how's it going?
Not too shabby. I'm pumped. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Me too.
I love the setting that you have there. Like the windows behind you give you a fantastic background.
It's actually my bedroom, but my wife's office is in here, and all of her coworkers refer to it as the dojo. And I think it's pretty good.
It does. Yeah.
I thought it was a green screen and I was just going to roll with it.
Yeah. We had Mooney in a few weeks ago speaking as well. And that was the first thing he said as well. He's like, where did you get that green screen? I need a copy of that.
There we go. We've got most people arriving in. I just got a message that Sheila's working through the instructions with our judges in the breakout room. You see we've got a couple more people that we're waiting on. We've got just a minute left before 6, so we're sitting in good timing. If you are joining us on YouTube on the live stream, please feel free to chime in via the chat. If you've got any questions, comment, those will be shunted off to me as the host. Anybody that's joining us in Zoom, a couple of requests. Please feel free to engage in the chat. I'll be keeping that an eye on it, as well as if you can keep yourselves on mute throughout the presentations. That'll avoid any of our sessions being interrupted by someone else's pet or kids or roommates. So that makes things a little bit less stressful for the presenters. There we go. We're getting ourselves all set. Quick tech check on my side. Can everybody see the Uvaro demo day slides? They're up and running smoothly for people? Nice. And how's my audio coming through? Loud and clear for everybody? Excellent. Just a quick break. We'll be back and get started. Okay, so Sheila is working through the last of the instructions for our judges, but we are going to get ourselves started while she's in the tail end of that, because we want to make sure we've got room for everyone to share their presentations, their demos, and for us to get ourselves rolling. So again, big start, especially if you're joining us on the live stream. Welcome to the Uvaro Demo Day. This is always a lot of fun. This is a culmination of 12 weeks of hard work, a lot of lessons learned, a lot of laughter shared, and today we get to crown a new demo champion. So in the Zoom room today are contestants, judges, classmates, a couple of VIPs, but joining us as well on YouTube via live stream are also other students, potential students, sales professionals, potential employers. There's a whole mix. So it is going to be a fun time. But to get ourselves started, for everyone here, I've mentioned how our judges are back in their judges room getting some last minute instructions and coordination. But let me tell you who's going to be evaluating the presentations. Today we have Keith Cordero from Sales Loft, Shane George from On Call Health, Drew Williams, founder of the Sales Playbook Builder, and Callum Bramley, another instructor from the Uvaro team. Now, for those that haven't sat in on a demo day, it really is worth underlining how challenging it is as a judge, as well as how challenging it is as a presenter. All of our contestants have been asked to deliver a 15-minute discovery call. Now, when we do this exercise in class, we give people way more time, typically up to 30 minutes. And so we've asked them to compress that into 15, but we've even upped the pressure further. And we've said, not just delivering a discovery call, but do a software demo during that call as well. Now, Sheila, the lead instructor, is actually the lead judge here. She'll be the audience, the buyer for this discovery call, but you never know who she's going to bring in with her. She might be bringing in a mystery colleague, like a CTO. She might be bringing in her boss. She might be bringing in an assistant. So there are definitely going to be some surprises that pop up. As well as we're listening to our presentations, the judges are going to be evaluating on 5 different metrics. On closing skills, if you are a buyer, would you move forward in the next step? Expertise. Did the recruit demonstrate their knowledge of the solution, of the business, of the landscape? Rapport building. How did the conversation go? How was that relationship? Questions. Did they ask really good discovery questions and gain new useful insights? And then finally, answers. When Sheila and the other purchasers ask questions, did they give some good answers? And so we'll be evaluating those. The judges will be scorecarding throughout. And at the tail end, we'll tally the scores. And we'll announce our demo champion by the end of the session. So we've shared who the judges were. I'd love to share a little bit about who our competitors are today, because only one will be crowned a demo champ. And before I jump to the next slide, I'd really like to emphasize that we do like to increase the pressure. No one knows who's presenting in which order. So this next slide's got a number of names and faces. As a heads up, it is not the order. So we have presenting today, Tinee, Jake, Adam, Yeseed, and Jame. No, this isn't the order. We're going to keep it a little bit of surprise, but I wanted to go over a little bit of the rules of engagement so that we know what we're getting into. So first off, each of our contestants have chosen the product that they're pitching. They've also chosen the customer profile and the persona of who's on the buyer side. It's amazing. We always get such a fantastic variety, and today is no exception. We have everything from e-commerce to legal tech to video and construction software. This is going to be a fun mix. And again, I'm so glad I'm not one of the judges. It is going to be a fun challenge. But for the rules of engagement, why don't we talk a little bit about those rules of engagement? So if you are a contestant, if you are a presenter, make sure that you remind the audience and the judges, so they put the scores in the right place, your name, what you're selling, and who you're selling it to. Because we know it's Sheila on the other end, but it's really good to know who she's actually going to be. You have 15 minutes to present. I have a timer here. We will cut you off. So make sure you keep track of your own time as well. After the 15 minutes, there will be a 2-minute period so the judges can finish their score, and we'll announce the next presenter right away, which means that you've got about 2 minutes to get yourselves ready, enough to present. Now, to give that same 2 minutes to the first person, I'll take this moment to share who our first presenter will be. So let me just pull up our actual queue. Oh, I really do need a drum roll for these moments. So up first will be Adam. So Adam, you've got a couple of minutes to get yourself ready. But yes, we will be knocking down our first 3 presentations. We'll be pausing for a brief intermission. We'll finish with the last 2. There'll be a brief feedback period where we'll be able to share some high-level comments from the judges. Then we'll announce the winners. Now for our contestants, don't worry. You're only going to get a couple of sentences here because we have a limited amount of time, but you'll get a full scorecard as well as with detailed comments. So you'll know where you were strong, where you could improve, but don't worry, you'll get some stuff live right now. So these are the rules of engagement for our contestants, but everybody else that's here in the actual event, we have a couple of house rules for you. If you're here in the Zoom room, I would ask that you keep your mics muted and your cameras on. It does help the contestants to see reactions, gauge feedback, and as a host, it helps me know when people are back from the intermission so we can get started again. That's the first one I'd ask. The second thing is that we encourage you to engage in the chat. Most importantly, our lead buyer will be keeping her eyes on the chat for good questions, new requirements, new ideas to keep in mind. So if you have any tips or ways to ask really good questions, toss them in the chat. She'll be watching. As well, this is a space to help build up, help people launch new careers. So please be respectful of that. Constructive feedback is always good, but especially as you're sharing feedback in the chat and the channels, let's keep in mind that everyone is growing and learning. And you'll see it's sometimes hard to believe that everyone's only been in a 12-week course. But I ask that you do participate, toss things into the chat. And then finally, if you are interested in joining us on YouTube, the event stream will be tossed into the chat there. Feel free to share it with friends, colleagues, social media. If you've got others in the house who are super curious about what you're tuning into, you can pass them the live stream too. So taking care of some of the house rules, taking care of some of the items, the next step is to actually get started. Before we do, Sheila, are there any comments, questions, housekeeping from the judges team that we should keep in mind?
No housekeeping from the judges team. I did want to check in though that we have a timekeeper set up and ready to go because I missed the earlier part. Are we okay on that end?
We do. For the 15 minutes, you mean? We do.
Awesome.
Don't worry, we've got sound effects and everything. So
I'm excited.
I don't know if I should be hoping no one goes over time or hoping that someone does to see if it works. Adam, it's just about yours. Any questions before we get started?
So the timer starts after I introduce those 3 items. Is that right?
That's right. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. The screen is all yours. And after you introduce those things, we will start that timer.
Sounds good. So my name is Adam Deyell. I will be selling a product called Bridget Bench. The company's called Bridget. Bench is one of their products. And it's a resource management tool for construction executives. So I guess I'll share the ICP as well. Yeah, so just in general, large construction companies, also I'll be referring to them as general contractors that build across multiple markets with a diverse workforce. So lots of different moving parts within these construction projects. They have fluid construction plans, and usually, ideally, their teams are 50 and over. So pretty hefty sized construction companies. And on average, I would say around 10 projects on the go at once, and each project ranging from 2 to 36 months in duration. So, all right, I'll get my own timer set up. All right, Sheila, it's great to see you again. How are you?
I'm good, Adam. Thanks. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. So before we get started here, I just want to make sure that you still have 15 minutes to speak with me today. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I have a hard stop though, so we got to keep it in the 15.
Sounds good. Got it. Well, thank you so much for your time. Before I dive in here, I just want to kind of set a goal for each of us here. So we've spoken previously. I got a bit of an idea of what your resource allocation process looks like, the tools you use, and I want to go over that in just a minute. But before that, I want to set a bit of a goal for each of us today. So obviously for you, by the end of this conversation, I want a better understanding of where you're at and how you're feeling about Bridget Bench, to see if it's a good fit. And then I have the same goal too, because ultimately this is a subscription-based product. And if you're not happy within the first few months of using the tool, then I have failed miserably at my job. So I want to make sure that it's a right fit for me as well. So why don't we just dive right in by just touching on what we previously spoke about last week. So a few points that I have here. You're a project executive, first of all, so you're overseeing a lot of the projects that are happening at your company. From what I understand, on average, you have 10 projects on the go. Is that right?
Yeah, give or take, given the season.
For sure. Okay. So that shifts a little bit. You have around 100 field workers from what I gathered.
I think we're sitting at 75 right now.
Okay.
It'll pick up a bit for the next couple months and then dip down. There's some seasonal shift in there.
Okay, got it. And you're primarily using Excel spreadsheets right now to manage those projects. Is that right?
So many of them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I gathered. With a team of that size, I can imagine that you've got a lot of sheets open all the time. So why don't we just dive into that a little bit more? I just want to learn a little bit more about your process currently with spreadsheets and just how you manage all of those moving parts, basically, that happen with your company and all of the projects that you undertake. So, so first of all, can you just walk me through what it looks like when you first get a project, and specifically with the onboarding of who's actually working on the given project? So let's say you're given you've just won a bid, and you know that you have to fill 30 to 40 roles. What do your first steps look like when you start to plan that out?
Okay, so that's fair. I have my one master sheet, which is my loose attempt to map all of my sheets onto one, and I start there, and that gives me a general approximation of where the resources are going to be coming up free, an idea of what's currently in place, so what I don't have access to, and that's sort of like the bird's eye view of everything that's going on. But then when I'm getting into the details, I have to take a closer look at each individual project.
Can I just stop you there for a second? So you said that that's your sort of bird's eye view spreadsheet, right?
Yeah.
So could you just break that down a little bit more for me? Is that, do you mean you list out all of the roles that you know you'll need to fill? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, so that one is organized by function. So each role that I have available, and then I have numbers. There's a budget section as well, but like I said, it's not really accurate. It's like a generalization. It's based on like forecasting. And then if I want the closer look, I have to kind of like drill down.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, from there, let's say that this project is 15 months long. Okay, so middle range, 2 to 36 months is what you told me. So let's say it's about a 15-month long project. Presumably, with a project over a year, I know from other clients that we've worked with that sometimes with projects of that length, there's a lot of shifting that goes on. People, someone's sick for a week, someone has to go away, maybe someone quits. So what happens when you start to have to shift names around and roles around? Can you just walk me through what that looks like?
Okay, so you are getting into the biggest pain in my rear. I'm going to say that every time there's an unexpected change like that, ideally, whoever knows it's happening, who has access to the spreadsheets, goes in and updates. I don't know how often that's actually happening, and that's one of the things I'm trying to suss out, because one guy forgets to update it, and then it throws the forecasting for 7 other projects.
Okay, so first of all, you're taking on a lot with a project of that size, just yourself, let alone the fact, what I'm gathering is that you have other eyes and hands on these spreadsheets as well, and that complicates things a little bit more.
Yeah, and I'm going to say as well, there's not consistency. I have 5 project managers that work with me, and they have access, and it's good, but there are a couple of them who have individuals on the team that they'll let update things, or they ask to. Whether or not it happens on time and when it should, it's hard to track.
Okay. Now, Are you all working off of a cloud-based spreadsheet, off of one live updated spreadsheet, or are copies sent around of scheduling? What I'm getting at, what my question really is are there sometimes two different copies of the schedule out?
I'm not going to say it never happens, Adam. They should be working from the cloud version, but sometimes that happens. Yeah.
Okay. So I can see where some of that on a 15-month project, if you start to get too many copies floating around, I can see.
One guy has a hard copy in his pocket out there. I just know it's.
He uses the printer. He uses the office printer. Okay. This is good to know. So now we've touched on a few things here. So you have different hands. You have different. Maybe let's just say too many cooks in the kitchen sometimes. Shifting information around on spreadsheets. With spreadsheets of that duration, obviously, once information starts to change, depending on the spreadsheet, that can get a little confusing. So I'm seeing some of the challenges that you face with your current process already. Is there anything else that you'd like to touch on that frustrates you with that process?
I'm going to say duplication of work, and then not being 100% confident that what I'm looking at is accurate. Those are the primary things.
Okay. So in a way, it's clarity. Sometimes you feel like you lack some of the clarity.
Yes.
Oversight. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I hear you. Okay. And that's just one. Now you yourself, I know you're a project executive. So are you overseeing multiple projects at once?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And now I'm just going to go run through some numbers real quick. So you said you have 3 project managers. Is that right? That generally work under you?
Yeah. 3 right now.
3 right now. And how many other project executives are there at your company currently?
There's 2 others.
2 others. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And is it safe to assume that they have a few project managers under each of them as well?
Correct.
Okay. Now, I'd love, maybe this could be for a different time, but I'd love to get some insight from your, or maybe if you'd like to share from your director of operations, who presumably oversees everything. I'm already zeroing in and seeing how some of the information can get a little bit skewed with your projects, let alone the other project executives and PMs and your director of ops who's trying to oversee everything. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah. And we try to stay on top of things, but we can try to meet as often as we can. It's still never going to be perfect. But yeah, there's other people who I think would need to see it. Okay.
So now if I were to ask you, what would your ideal setup or your ideal world look like from a project planning perspective? You've pointed at some of the pains. I'm assuming an ideal world would be alleviated of all these pains, but if you could just put your finger on one, what would it be? I'm hearing some things like, gaps in information, trying to allot.
Mm-hmm. I think what you're kind of saying gets to just having confidence in the data I'm looking at.
Okay.
And that confidence means like it's accurate, it's up to date. There's only one version, and I know my team members are seeing the same thing I'm seeing. Okay,
absolutely, yeah. Now this actually really reminds me of a case of a client that we worked with, a company called Wise Construction. We worked with a project executive there named Eric, who had almost an identical number of project managers under him, and team size and project length. And he did use spreadsheets previous to moving over to our project bench. He ended up finding that he was able to save 5 times the amount of time in his project management. Okay, so that's 5 times. That's I think when we spoke with him, it was several hours a week that he was saving. Not to mention all of his project managers and other project executives in their company, because they did adopt it as an entire company. So what I want to do really quick now, if this sounds okay to you, is I just want to share my screen and give you a little quick visual of one window in the tool. This is by no means the entire tool. This is just something that I feel will address some of what you've described to me. And I hope that by showing you this, you can see how some of those challenges might be sorted out should you choose to adopt this tool. So if you don't mind, I'll just share my screen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Okay, so You see the bar chart there, the Gantt chart?
I do.
Awesome. Okay. So you told me, sorry, refresh my memory. You said 3 to 4 projects at once?
3 to 4 project managers, 10 projects on the go at once.
10 projects on the go. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's a look. This is just a snippet of our tool, Bridget Bench. And by snippet, I mean it's a window within one of the functions of the tool. So if you look over to the left of the screen, if you see my cursor, there are 4 different options here. And the blue highlighted button here, that's the projects tab. Now, in the projects tab, you have all of your projects listed. So you would have your 10 projects right in front of you here. Okay. Is that pretty clear so far, what we're looking at? Okay.
Yeah,
awesome.
I can see them all at once.
Yeah, so we have 3 on the screen right now. So we have let's take a look at the Deacon Theater, for example. So I want you to keep in mind your current process as you look at this. So we have every single role that needs to be filled here. And we're able to see in a Gantt view how long each employee is on that specific project. So as we can see at the top, the senior project manager, Serena Williamson, she's on for roughly 6 months here. As you can see at the bottom, the superintendent, Georgia Foreman, fun names, she's on for about half the time. So
Okay.
this visual, what the people that I've worked with, they just found that it's easy to just drag the duration that someone's on a project, drag the different your different field workers around on this on this chart here, and it gives you a really simple way to just see who's on the project for how long, to make sure your roles are filled, and to your benefit, to address that confusing sort of who's got what spreadsheet, who's looking at what. Everyone that you assign as a user will have access to only one copy here.
Okay.
So this is the master copy, and everyone is on the same page when they look at this. So,
yeah.
Now, like I said, this is just a snippet view, a quick view of one function of the project. I'd love to continue this conversation. I think at this point, I'm starting to sense that this is actually something that could be a good fit for you. How are you feeling about this so far, just from what you've seen?
Yeah, I'm really excited about the ease. The visual is great, and I feel pressure from spreadsheets kind of alleviated just looking at this version of it. Right. My only concern at this, so you were saying that if anybody updates it, it all updates in the same place. My main concern is just getting the whole team to use it.
Yeah, now you can assign similar to, let me think of an example. So on your spreadsheets, you're the administrator, I presume, and you can assign people as editors or viewers. So you could assign whoever you want, let's say you want your project managers, you only want 3 people to be able to actually edit the schedules. You can assign that, and everyone who's working on the project can be assigned as a viewer. So you'll know that you only have, you and 2 or 3 others that have access to actually changing the information here. However, everyone on the project will be on the same page, able to see that, to see the same information.
Okay. And actually, do you have a mobile version of this? Is this something they can access?
We do have a mobile version. And you know what, Sheila, we are coming up on the 15-minute mark. I don't know if you do have extra time today, but I think what would be best is if we set up a time next week, even just 15 or 20 minutes. And I'd love for you to, even if possible, to be able to pull in some of your project managers to get their eyes on this as well. And we can go through the entire tool to see how that would work. And I can even show you the mobile version as well.
Okay.
How would that sound?
Yeah, I want to see the mobile version. I think I can do that. They're going to want to know pricing. Fair. Right?
Yeah, well, we can absolutely dive into that. I have a ballpark idea right now, but let me just go back to some of the guys.
I'm sorry, Adam, we have hit the 15 minutes.
No sound effect?
Oh, it was just a little quiet. My volume was lower than I thought. I know.
I was waiting for the 30-second dinger. What happened?
Well, there we go. That was
good.
But I was watching my time countdown and I saw you jump in and go, oh, I've got almost up to the time. But yeah, we'll have to stop the session there. But You were going in for the close. That was good.
Thank you.
I could see Sheila nodding in the body language. I thought you were going to get the time in, but that was close. That was close. So Adam, you can let go of your sharing now while we get ready for our next one. We've got 2 minutes for our judges. But before we do, heads up to our next presenter, Tinee. You'll be up next. So there's a couple minutes there on the clock for Tinee to get ready. Adam, you're through the gauntlet. You got the questions from Sheila. How are you feeling about things?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Yeah, I feel like I was able to kind of zero in on some of her main pain points with her current process. And yeah, just that those final, can I send my calendar over to you line. But other than that, I felt pretty good about that.
Yeah, you're right on the tail end. That was good. Just for those who weren't watching the clock as I was, Adam, you did a great job of asking tons of questions. You got almost to the 12-minute mark before you even pulled up the screen, and your demo was from a single screenshot. You conveyed all that with a single image. So well done on that. Here we go. You can see the whole audience is impressed. I know you nailed it, Adam. That was really good. I see judges' faces kind of coming up from their keyboards. Given them a couple of minutes to do numbers down. Sheila, can I get a thumbs up or a hand wavy? How are you guys doing? Are we ready to move forward? Nice. Okay, I am going to put 15 minutes back on my timer. Tinee, you're up next. I'm just cycling through my screens of all of the videos that we have here. I want to make sure that we are all set up. Are you good, Tinee? I see you there now.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm good.
I am going to mute myself. Please remember to share what you're selling, who you're selling it to. And after you do that, we'll get the timer started.
All right. Well, my name is Tinee Campbell, and I am selling Vidyard, and I'm selling Vidyard to head BDR at D2L. So desire to learn. Yeah. All right. Sheila, are we ready?
I am ready when you are.
Okay. Hi, Sheila. How are you doing today?
Hey, today I'm good. It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's nice to see you too. I want to give you a big thank you for connecting with me on LinkedIn the other day and for our back and forth email chat. Like we talked a little bit about video and how to integrate video into your team. And it was very insightful for me to get a little bit of information as to who you are. And so I wanted to, open up this chat and see if Vidyard can be a great fit for you. How does that sound?
Yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah, well, I got 15 minutes on the clock right here. Is that still okay for you?
15 minutes, that's good.
Okay, great, Sheila. So again, going back to our conversation, we talked a little bit about adding video content into your team space. Sorry, after we had that conversation, have you thought any more about video? Is the interest still piqued for you?
Yeah, so there is interest. I'm super curious about, and after our chat, I watched one of the videos that you sent me, and I kind of thought about where it would place in cadences for myself and my team. I'm not entirely sure that it's effective, so I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say about whether or not you've got some data to share with that. And then also my VP sales, Shane, has been kind of wandering around the office, and he said he may have a question or two, so he may pop in at some point. But I'll give you fair warning on that. So I guess basically right now, what I would like to know is, does it work? And then where is the place in terms of how my team would be using it?
Yeah, okay, Sheila, those are great points. So I'll be sure to add those today, and I'm looking forward to seeing Shane and answering his questions. So you said that you were touching on a little bit of video, but you're still a little unsure as to how, where the value of it comes from. And I'm so excited to share you that too, because I'm excited about this video, and I hope that you can gain a little bit of insight as to what I'm trying to show you today. But can you tell me a little bit more about your video experience as sales-based? Has you and your team touched on video?
So a couple of the team have used it experimentally. mostly through LinkedIn, actually, just sort of toying with it that way. And in general, they seem to get a mixed response. I'm not sure if it's the platform or how they're using it. We don't really have any, we've looked at some loose resources out there, but we don't have a playbook for how to use video for outreach. So I'm sure there's things we could be doing better that way. But the feedback I've gotten is that for some people, they love it and it works. And for other people, it's the same as a normal message on LinkedIn. But we've never used it regularly or in a way that's been tracked.
Okay. Yeah. I understand that too. And like taking video is sometimes a struggle for people. I know even for me, when I was first using video, it took like 50 tries just to get that perfect take. Have you and your team found that same kind of pain where you have to continuously take video?
Yeah, and I think that's part of why the reviews are so mixed, because it felt like a lot of work with mixed response, because it's kind of weird, like sit yourself down and look all professional, and we don't really know about how much time we should spend on it. When it's like, how much time do you spend personalizing an email? How much time should you spend making your video perfect? I don't know.
Yeah, this is something that, as well, that Vidyard can help with. We have a customer support team, that can give you that white glove experience on how to boost your video content, and to give you pointers on how to create good video content, and to give you that awesome timeline to create that video as well. So if that's something that I feel like you might also be interested in. Before we dive in and I show you a little bit more, I also, Sheila, I wanted to congratulate you. I didn't do it before. You guys are currently in your Fusion 2020 virtual fair. How was that going? Moving everything digital as it once was, like a big, massive conference. That must have been stressful.
Stressful is a good word. Yeah. We're excited about it. It's different this year. We're going to do a big retro at the end and see how it actually went. Right now, we're all just kind of like, make it work.
Yeah, I feel you. I like the on-demand aspect. I like the fact that you have those the webinars recorded, so I can see it. I actually signed up because I'm interested in EdTech, in the EdTech realm as well. So being able to click back on videos that I didn't get a chance to be a part of in the previous months, it's exciting. So yeah, kudos to that, and hopefully we'll see where the rest of that goes. That's exciting.
Okay.
Yeah, and moving on, you also mentioned before that you wanted a way to personalize your cadence, to create more of that personalization, just to turn all of your opportunities into real customers. Have you, can you tell me a little bit more about how you personalize your cadence, or how your team personalizes theirs?
That's fair. So we spend a lot of time training them on how to effectively do research in the prospecting stage. So we get them looking at all the right pieces of information, and then tailoring emails that are really, specific and personal. So it's obvious that it's people talking to people. And I've heard a lot about how video can add to that. So the first step with LinkedIn, the idea was they find a premise for outreach, and maybe they reach out by email, but then at the same time they reach out on LinkedIn, and then a few of them injected the video there. And that's kind of the extent of how we've been using it now with video. But in terms of the personalization, every step of the cadence has some personalization to it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's great. So I want to add to that personalization, Sheila. So a little bit about Vidyard. We're a great video online tool that would not only give you video access, easy access for you to create your video content. You click play, you take a video, you hit send. It'll also give you an easy link to link between your emails and more. So I'm just going to share my screen with you real quick, if that's okay.
Okay.
Can you see my screen okay, Sheila?
I can.
Awesome. Okay, so here is my Vidyard library. So these are all of the videos that I have created so far using Vidyard. Now, I don't have the Pro plan, which I do also want to introduce you to, but this is just a simple plan that I have that will allow me just to show you something that you'll be really interested in. So as you can see, I have all my videos here, some of them personal, like helping my sister create an arrow on Photoshop, and some a little bit more salesy, where I am giving disco demos to people. So just to add a little bit more value to creating video content, I'm just gonna show you one video here. If I'm just gonna scroll down. So this is a cool video. You can see the amount of views that I got. This is something that you'll be able to see as well. If you send your video to a prospect, you can see how they viewed it. Also, if I'm gonna click on these 3 dots right here and click on Video Insights, so you can see here, oh, there's nothing there yet because it was a long time ago. So I'm going to change it to this past year. And here you'll be able to see how many people viewed it as well. So we had the 27, 28, and then you can also see how long they viewed it for. So Sheila, this is something that sets us apart from other companies, as you can have a clear scope as to how long people have viewed your video for, which gives you an idea about how much to add, how much to let go. Maybe you can work on it a little bit more, test your video. Is this something that interests you? Or what are you gathering? Any questions gathering?
What I'm thinking, this is going to give us the insight we need in terms of whether or not it's actually making a difference. So it's not just, are they watching it? Are they watching the whole thing? Does it track like clicks and that kind of thing?
Yeah, so again, you're going to see the average video play rate, and it will also give you the action clicks here, so you can see how many people clicked it. So these videos that I've created can not only be attached to a link, it can be attached to your personal link too, and as well as your company's website. So if you do send that email with a video, and your prospect clicks on it, it can send them to a ready-made web page, that video design that will have your design on it as well. I would love to dive deeper more into that, but we are coming close to our 15-minute mark, and I just want to ask you even more if there's any more pressing questions that you have.
I think Shane had a question about pricing. Shane, are you still there?
Oh yeah, Shane.
Oh hey, Tinee, I've been walking around in the background. I've been hearing the demo so far. You've been doing a great job. I'm just especially during these times, so nervous about the cost of this new technology. How does the pricing work?
Ooh. Oh, that's a great question, Shane. I'm going to move you over here to this tab. Can you see this tab?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Okay, great. So here are the pricing that we have for Vidyard currently. Okay, so you guys, you have a pretty small team, I would say. What was it, like 10, 15?
Yeah, around there. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's right. You got it.
Yes, Sheila. So Sheila and Shane. So I think the 300 a month plan would fit well for you guys, because it'll give you that custom branding that I mentioned that will attach to your website, and it'll also give you the full video analytics that I previously showed you as well. It doesn't give you the CRM integration. Is that something that you might be interested in? It just helps you not create that extra step for you and your team.
Yeah, I think we'd be okay to start without it. But it's good to hear that we can bridge to it, if anything. I think we need it in the long run.
Yeah, for sure. The more you use it, the more you might like it, and the more you might see the value in adding the CRM integration onto there as well. Shane, are there any other questions that I can help answer?
No, good on my end. I'll pass it back to Sheila, and I'll continue wandering.
All right.
See you soon, laugh. I'm curious about the benefit of the CRM integration. I can imagine how that would be helpful. Is there like a tipping point you guys recommend in terms of when that becomes necessary? I guess that's what your pricing model is based on.
Yeah, I think once you start getting better at your videos and you start pushing more video out with the help of our customer service staff, the CRM and map integration will just give you that like further heads up as to who viewed your content and how long they viewed it for, similar to the video analytics, but this will be shown on your CRM that you're currently using. So the fact this analytics will be shown on Vidyard, whereas the CRM integration is going to be shown on your own previous one. Yeah. Gotcha. Which CRM are you using right now, if I may ask real quick?
We are on Salesforce.
Oh, Salesforce. Yeah, we work with those too, with that company too. So we'll be able to help you in that sense when the time arises, once you get real good at video. So I'm just gonna stop my screen share here, Sheila. Today we talked a lot about video content, how to add video content into your cadence, and we talked a little bit about pricing and Vidyard's awesome analytics feature. I would like to chat further with you and just dive deeper into the many other features that I mentioned but wasn't able to show you. Is it possible to set up another video chat maybe next week just to chat a bit further? Maybe you can bring Shane on and if he's not too tired from his labs.
Yeah, I think we can do that. Maybe a dedicated call with Shane, maybe another end user as well to just see what adoption looks like as well.
Okay, sounds great then, Sheila. I'm going to send you a Calendly invite. And you and your team can just choose the right time that works best for you, and then we can chat further.
Great. Okay. Thanks.
All right. We'll talk soon.
I'm just
There we
picturing
go.
Shane.
I know. Great job. You had 1:59 left on the clock.
Yeah, I just saw that. There was like, oh no.
I was so excited about using my new improved volume on my sound effects, but well done. You kept yourself inside the 15 minutes. So before I circle back today, heads up for our third presenter. Jame, you'll be up third. So you got a couple of minutes to get yourself all set up there. Tinee, while everyone's finishing up their scores, how are you feeling now that you're through it?
I feel like relieved that I'm now done. It was fun though. It wasn't bad. Yeah.
Nice.
Talking to Sheila is always smooth.
But that VP of sales, that was tough.
Yeah. He was running while talking. It's hard to keep up.
Nice. I liked how you had the pricing ready and available. You're prepped for that curve question, and great job handling when you pulled up the stats and there was nothing there. You rolled to that really well. So. I see scores kind of trickling in and showing up. Sheila, I'll be looking to you to give us a thumbs up when we're ready to move forward. Okay, so we've got judges' scores in. We've got our third contestant queued up. As a heads up, a reminder for everyone, after Jame wraps up, we are going to take a 5-minute break. So that people can top up their waters, their coffee, but we will start sharp with the 5 minutes afterwards. But Jame, again, please introduce yourself, what you're selling, who you're selling it to, and then once you're done that, we'll put the 15 minutes on the timer and let you run with it. I'm hitting the mute. The floor is yours.
Awesome. This is so fun. I think this is really neat. The past 12 weeks have been awesome. So the culmination of this is just great to be able to do it live. And my wife is at work right now watching, I think, maybe, I don't know. Hi, Rachel. Anyways, I digress. So the background of this, I'm going to be selling Shopify Plus, and I am targeting a fictitious large bicycle manufacturer and wholesaler based out of Canada. They're looking to grow their online presence as their showrooms have kind of seen a hit due to COVID. And their online infrastructure has really struggled to keep up with the demand. So again, just promoting Shopify Plus in their e-commerce platform.
I am ready when you are, Jame.
Ring, ring.
Hi, Sheila here.
Hi, Sheila. How you doing? It's Jame with Shopify Plus.
Good. Thanks, Jame. What can I do for you?
We had seen that you guys had been shown some interest in Shopify Plus, and I just wanted to follow up and see if I could demonstrate what solutions we could provide your business. Is 15 minutes okay for today?
Yes, thank you. Actually, it took me a second. I remember now. Yeah, I was looking at your e-commerce stuff. I filled out a form fill, I think. But yeah, I would like some more information. I have time now. That works.
Okay, perfect. So I'll just jump right into it. So yeah, thanks for taking the time to chat with me right now. I was actually riding the hydrocut trails in West Waterloo, and I saw a couple of your bikes and was really impressed. The design is pretty sleek, and then I asked, the rider and his family, like how much was that? And the price point seemed awesome. So I really, as a fellow biker, I really think that's pretty fantastic. So I'll just jump right into it. So I'm going to kind of ask you a couple questions, trying to feel out where we can best support you. I'm not sure if you're aware, but Shopify Plus is a massive e-commerce organization, and we have tools that that could benefit you now or could benefit you in the future. I have a couple in mind that I'd like to go over with you, but I kind of want to ask you a few questions if you're okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So I guess my first question would be, do you mind sharing kind of what brought you to the Shopify Plus website?
Mm-hmm. So I was looking for solutions to take things online, and I know you probably are hearing a lot of this right now with everything that's going on. And it is not like it's overdue. It's a thing that was kind of on the back burner for a while, trying to take things online for expansion. But of course, COVID has affected retail stores. So our showroom is not packed. We're not throwing things off the shelves or anything. And we don't really have anything solid in place to deal with a bigger online demand. So two things happened. One, we couldn't adequately shift things in time, so we're hurting. But two, now that I've been dedicating time and thought to it, I've realized that there's a huge there's a huge opportunity that I just haven't been tapping into with taking things online. I would like to take things just international if it's possible. Yeah, so I'd like some insight onto what that looks like, how that works.
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. Like I said, the product I think will be able to sell itself. You know, and if I may ask, are you the wearing multiple hats in your organization? Do you have an IT team to help you with your own site currently?
I do have an IT team, but it's one guy. I'm the director of sales. My CEO has been thinking about this, and I am hoping to bring this to him. But in terms of implementation, it won't be me. I'm just the highly motivated to drive revenue. So this is the avenue. But we have the one guy who helps us with our IT stuff currently.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a resounding trend. We kind of work with businesses of all sizes, and we help them scale. And, we understand that your business is your business. You know bikes, we know IT. So we want to help keep that revenue in your pockets and let you focus on bicycles while you can outsource your front end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Diving in a little bit more. So what I'm hearing from you is your website leaves a little bit to be desired from both your perspective. How about your customer's perspective? What's the front end? Have you had any customers?
Yeah, some of it's okay. So in general, the website is dedicated mostly to showing product, not directly a way to purchase it. It's just sort of specs and there's one blog, but it's not up to date. We don't really have an online presence in the sense of like content creation or anything. We have a website so that if people are looking for us, they can find us, but that is no longer the model.
Okay. Okay. And no, that sounds good. So I'm momentarily going to dip into kind of what it is that we can do to support you guys. But one kind of additional question: what happens every month when your CEO comes to you and asks for next quarter's forecast?
Now or pre-COVID? What are we talking?
I'll say now.
Okay. To be honest, right now, the feedback I'm getting from my team is that it's a struggle to really forecast anything. Everything's super unpredictable. And then the thing that comes along with our, limited dedication of resources towards the website and that model, our inventory tracking has never been stellar. We just kind of, everything moves really quickly, so we make it happen. And now that things have slowed down, we're kind of faced with time to really examine what we've been doing. And I'm going to say that we don't have a great way to track sales. So when they ask for insights, a lot of what I'm telling is previously just based on trends and themes and what everybody's feeling, which is not ideal. And then more so now with COVID, because there's so little data to base things on, with a system that was already short on data to begin with.
Yeah. And, this is, again, I'm hearing this kind of all over. One of the reasons Amazon is so successful is because they have the data and of course the capital to back this all up. So what we want to do is make sure that businesses like yours are able to, not only survive, but thrive in this new economy, and not just your commerce, but your e-commerce as well. So I'm gonna just jump to share a screen. Give me one moment here, and let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see it all right there?
I can, yeah. And I should also let you know, I just pulled my CEO over, Callum. He's just kicking around here now. He might have questions too, just fair warning.
Kick around, that's not a problem. So I wanted to let you know, we are able to help you focus on your business, like I mentioned before. And, not only are we able to help with your back end, so your analytics, your forecasting, your inventory levels, and just general reporting, we can help you on the front end too. So with COVID, people are missing that tactile feeling of the product. So there's a lot of times where people are purchasing a product and just returning it back because it's not what they expected. And I think there's a very costly way of doing business that way. So part of our platform allows for a higher conversion rate with augmented reality and a 3D product videos, and you can kind of move it around the screen so you can see, what all the different bike components are, and you can really zoom in. So I think that's a very useful tool. Is that of interest to you?
I did the thing. I was muted. Yeah. So I'm going to say that you're bang on with that. And with bikes, that's a thing because everybody wants to be in love with their bike. If they buy something and it's not the fit, they're sending it right back. And, with shipping and everything, it's not ideal. So I'm going to say you're right on the money there.
Okay. Yeah. And that's extremely costly, right? Not only from your perspective, but like the greenhouse gas emissions of, big boxes going back and forth so we just want to help you streamline that. Now, I know we're running a little bit low on time here, so I did want to touch base on the international e-commerce platform. And so part of the whole toolkit, part of our solution here is that we can actually help you guys grow not only locally and regionally, but you can go nationally, continentally, and go global. As part of our package, we can offer you 9 expansion stores that can help you localize your efforts depending on where you're looking to expand. So this is part of the package. And you know what? Are you okay discussing pricing right now? And I won't hold you to this, but I just figured I want to give you kind of the whole 9 yards in this little bit of time that we do have. And if you like what you see, we can follow up with next steps. Are you okay if we discuss some pricing?
What do you think, Callum? Do you want to see pricing?
I don't think it's too appropriate right now. I mean, the thing that's top of mind for me is I was actually speaking to another CEO in my network who do use you guys, by the way. And they, first and foremost, they do really love the product. The one feedback that that she gave me was tended to take a while to get implemented. Tended to drag on a little, tended to drag on a little bit. So, I was just wondering how we might be able to manage that. Obviously, as Sheila's mentioned, we're pretty low on resources ourselves and manpower. That's just one of the things that's top of mind, especially for our VP of operations, how we might manage getting that implemented.
Okay, so industry norms actually say it takes a number of months to get this rolling on your end, or sorry, I should say on our end. But for us, we actually average 90 days. So it takes 90 days to get you implemented. Obviously, we need to port your different APIs and any kind of functionality you'll want to have on the website. We can definitely port that in. So perhaps your colleague had some issues. I know, no business is perfect, but, with COVID happening, it's been quite our business is booming over here, and we'd like to help as many businesses as we can. So I do apologize if that was the experience they had. It's not typical. I will say that.
Cool. I mean, with 90 days, are we able to get our hands on some sort of trial account? And if that goes well, are we able to turn that into a paid account so we can more or less get ourselves started? Is that something that we could do?
So that would be typically through your Shopify account. This would be Shopify Plus. So right now you're looking at $2,000 a month. And that can provide you up to 9 different websites, different languages, and support for each website. You're taking away your IT, taking away your IT's headaches, and obviously improving on your reporting, helping grow and scale your business. So no pressure. I hear what you're saying right now. What I can do is I have a case study that I can send to you guys if you're interested. It's actually another bike store that actually doubled their sales just by using Shopify Plus. So I'll go ahead and send that to you if you're all right with that. And then Caleb and Sheila, if you guys are interested, I can kind of send you what a preliminary contract might look like. And obviously, I'd love to have your IT gentleman be a part of these conversations as well. Like, this is a platform to help him and help you guys grow your business. So if you guys are open to that, I'd love to set something up with him if you guys are okay to that.
Right on. I'm okay with that, Callum. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. That sounds good to me.
Okay, awesome. Well, you'll see an email from me momentarily. Again, I appreciate your time, and I think we've got a couple minutes left. So if you guys don't have any other questions, you're welcome to get 2 minutes of your life, or I can try to answer anything else you need.
I don't have any more questions. I think just let's set up the call with the IT guy, and we'll take a look at things and kind of talk about it from there.
Okay, that sounds awesome. Well, again, I appreciate your time, and thank you, Sheila, for reaching out.
Great. Thanks, Jamie.
Have a good day.
Well done. Nicely done, Jamie. You had 1 minute 57 seconds left on the clock there. So some good consistency and good eye on the time there. So we will be taking a quick 5-minute break. Give our judges some time to put some numbers down, let people top off their coffees and things. Before we all break, I will share my screen so you'll see the 5-minute intermission sign up. As soon as we come back, our 4th contestant will be up. Yeseed, you will be up right after intermission. So you've got a couple minutes to get yourself ready. But yes, I'll be muting myself, stopping my video. I'll toss up my 5-minute intermission. And again, if you're here on YouTube, we will be back shortly. See you all soon. So quick reminder for those that are in the Zoom room, when you do come back, if you can flip your cameras back on, that'll let me know that everyone's back and we can get ourselves started again.
Test.
Hey, Kelly, you're back and your mic is hot. Also, thanks for everyone who's chiming into the chat. It's great to see the dialogue and the comments. And for the question that came over to me one-on-one, no, it's not a glass of wine. It is a glass of Coke, but in this particular lighting, it does always look a little reddish. So keep myself caffeinated before hitting the wine. Totally fair question. Since we are all working from home, Demo Day is a BYOB event. I saw how excited you were about that, Paul. See, he's really just got a glass full of gin, so we're all set. Just a quick check on the time. We've got another minute and a half before we get ourselves started again. Oh, wine popsicle would be brilliant. For those on YouTube, the dialogue right now in the Zoom room chat is entirely about the different ways we can enjoy alcohol. And I do think a boozy popsicle is got to be at or near the top of the list. That's pretty solid. Healthy choices, yes. And since our next contestant is Yeseed, he is the star performer. He is back. Quick check, Yeseed. How are you doing? All set up and ready?
Yes, Joseph. Hi, Joseph.
That's fantastic. We're definitely waiting on a couple of more judges, so don't worry. We're not going to put you in the hot seat quite yet. And for those that aren't watching the chat, as well as we've talked about our boozy popsicles, Kelly's offered some fantastic devices so we can make frozen boozy treats. So since we're talking about Shopify stores and e-commerce, this is a good opportunity to get ourselves stocked up for what's left of the summertime. Sheila, quick check there. How are our judges' scores doing for our last presentation for Jamie's session there? Are we good for moving forward? And Jamie, how are you feeling now that you're through the gauntlet? You've done your presentation. You can sit back and heckle now.
I feel really good. I feel like I missed on a couple things. I like the curve ball, and there was something that I had ready for that, and I couldn't pull it off the website. So other than that, I feel great. I
like how Callum, the CEO, joined, and he was a friendly ally in that buying process right out of the gate. Like, he was supporting that sale. Calling out some smack talk from another customer. Kept it nice and easy for you, Jamie. I'm sure Yeseed feels nice and confident about what objections might come up now, right?
Not really.
It looks like we've got our crew back. We're sitting at a good spot, so I am going to stop my screen share. Our intermission is up. Yeseed, a quick reminder, please make sure you tell our judges and audience what you're selling, who you're selling it to, and as soon as you're done that, we'll start our 15-minute timer. I'm going to mute myself and give you the mic.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Yeseed Aro-Lambo, and I'm so excited to be here. So today I'll be selling Tax Foresight. And Tax Foresight is simply an AI-powered tax research and planning software. It helps lawyers predict how a judge will decide a tax case even before it gets to court. So my ICPs are generally law firms and accounting firms. But my persona today is the managing partner of a small-sized tax law firm. So Sheila, I'm ready whenever you are.
I am good to go, Yeseed.
Okay. So hello, Sheila.
Hi, Yeseed. Hi.
Yeah, it's good to see you again.
You too.
Yeah, I know it's tax season and you're all extremely busy. So how are you guys coping with all the tax issues, COVID?
Yeah, there's been some extensions. So I want to say it's less pressure, but it feels like more because everybody who's behind now is kind of frantic, but we're managing. We're all right.
Yeah, so I must say I'm super grateful for this meeting, knowing how busy your schedule is nowadays. I know we scheduled for 15 minutes today and I intend to respect that. Are we still good for 15 minutes though?
Yeah, that's solid.
Okay, cool. So today we'll be discussing how to understand your business challenges better, an overview of our product and how it fits into your use case. I also like to show you a short simulation on how the products work. Because of the time constraints, I would like to limit it to that, but is there any other thing you would like to add to today's agenda?
Nothing to add. If you're going to show the simulation, I think that should cover it. I would like to dig in a little bit just about the consistency coming out the other side of the use, but I'm sure you'll dig into that. So let's just dive in and see where it goes.
Okay, cool. Okay, so if I recall correctly, the last time we had this conversation, you mentioned as one of your major challenges, the limitations of your current research software. Is this correct?
Yes, yeah. And I should highlight that it's not just the limitations of the software that I'm concerned about, it's the limitations of the users as well. And what I'm really hoping is to find some sort of consistency with how it's being used and the outcome. Right?
Oh, good, I understand. Can I probe a bit further though? So what kind of research tools do you currently use and how much do you get in terms of quality?
Yeah, so we have a lot of resources available to us, and tools wise, we have one that it's super simple. It's not on the cloud or anything. It's more just a guideline of how to do the research. But I think the important piece is not necessarily the tool. It's just how differently each of my partners use it, right? And of course, that affects things like, who's more on target, who's more accurate. Really.
I get you.
Yeah.
Good. Lastly, when you ask junior lawyers, junior associates in the firm to go research, and I want to know how confident are you able to run with their reports without double checking, and if you do that, how much back and forth goes into correcting and teaching them before you have a final report that you can use?
Yeah. That is an excellent question, Yeseed. So I'll address the first part first. How confident am I? I am not. And that is the main reason we're here having this conversation. And how much time is spent in going back and forth is really dependent on, at any given time, how much time I can allocate to coaching. Of course, I want them to grow and I want them to learn, and that's kind of part of the process. But just for for my goals, overarching, I need them to perform more consistently, ideally faster.
Good. So say we're able to resolve all of this in a perfect world, what will be the major priority amongst all you highlighted so far that you really want us to hammer on today?
I think the consistent performance. And okay, so can I have two priorities that are directly related? Consistent performance between members, and then shortening that learning curve for the junior team members. Perfect.
So, well, I'm happy to inform you that I see our product as a perfect fit for your law firm. We can deliver on almost all the challenges you seem to have so far. And however, before I show you how it works, as you were talking, I just remembered a similar case about one of our customers, in similar stature, they're small size, about 10 lawyers. I'm sure you have, how many lawyers do you have in your law firm again, sorry?
12, yeah, that's right.
12, yes, yeah.
Around 10, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with the Walls and Quinn case. It's a 2009, it's a very popular one. whilst they were preparing for the appeal, that was when we got to meet them. We introduced our tool to them. They decided to give it a try. And by the time the court gave its judgment, our tool predicted the outcome with over 95% accuracy. So
they used the tool for that case?
yes, they did.
I did not know that. Interesting.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. So okay, well, let me try and share my screen here to show you how this thing really works. Can I share my screen now?
Yeah, go for it. I'm curious.
Thank you. Yeah. Can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay, so let's assume you have a new client, say an Uber driver who just got tax returns from the tax authorities, and rather than classifying him as an independent contractor, he's being classified as a staff of Uber, and being taxed as such. So you have that kind of client before you, and you want to use our tool. So what you do is, okay, so this is how it comes up. You select one of the categories that best fits your client's case. You have all of these categories here. So like a questionnaire format, you begin to answer questions. You fill in the blanks, yes, kind of profession, Uber driver, fill in all of this. These are typical questions you normally ask your clients when they're coming for legal advice, yes. So you input all the facts as best as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm just letting this run so you see how deep the questions can go, and you click compute. And what happens here is that you get the result almost instantly. And the result you get here is not what would help you convince the judge. It is what the judge will most likely determine at the end of the case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, exactly. So you can see this one, it gives you with a 95% plus confidence that this is exactly what and aside that, it gives you what will form core of your legal opinion or legal advice in terms of explanation. It gives you cases to back it up. If you want to read more on the cases to see how similar the facts are, you could easily just click on that case and that opens up. You need more authorities, you scroll down, click on more and save, email to yourself to have a copy, and that's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, one sec. Yep. Okay, so that's basically how it works. And with that kind of scenario, you could change the facts as new facts come in, as you learn about something new, you have everything to play with. You keep getting the results that you most likely will get if, but at the end of the day, that's the facts you end up going to court with. Am I making sense? So let me pause here. Let me pause here for a bit. Do you have any questions relating to this? And before I move further.
I have a couple questions. So I understand how it works, and it looks so straightforward that I think my entire team could use it. I can see the amount of time that it would save. Do you have, are there any concerns about it actually, because I talked about speeding up the learning curve, it would speed up their functionality. Is that going to remove part of the learning process for them?
Definitely not. Especially for junior lawyers, the learning process for them will be so simple. It will literally mean you spoon feeding them, because you see the hardest part of teaching juniors is the research part. So you give them a case, go and research this. So most of them don't even know where to start from. So with this now, you give them facts. They need to go look for the law. Now this tool, you feed in facts, it gives you the law almost instantly. So it picks up the learning process so fast that they know what they're doing. And now you might not have to second guess their research results anymore,
Yeah,
no matter
yeah.
how junior they are. Yeah. Yeah. So,
That's what I'm thinking.
okay.
Okay. So, and then my follow-up, unrelated question, but also
Yes.
important, is I'm hoping to understand the pricing model, because I took a peek at the website and I'm not sure I understand if it's subscription
Okay, cool.
based.
Okay, let me share my screen once more. So we go, yeah, share screen. Yes. So can you see my screen? Okay, cool. So we have 3 plans here. The consultation plan is actually for those that do not want to invest so much in the software. Maybe they do not have that much clientele base. So, and they'll rather, use it on the pay-as-you-go basis. So if you have a client that comes in and you just want to use the tool to advise the client, you pay $300 per session, only once. You get 45 minutes of online consultation with one of our staff, and you're able to run all sorts of simulation, just like we did earlier on, to get as much outcome as possible. Yeah, so the second one is a starter one, basically for solo practitioners and small and medium size. And it's $199 per user per month. You have unlimited predictions, unlimited scenarios, testings, unlimited searches, and all of that. And the last one is the enterprise version for larger contract. That one we need to, but in your own case, because you're small, I think the starter plan fits you perfectly. Are you comfortable with the pricing plan?
I'll be honest, it's more than I anticipated spending.
Really? But Sheila, with all the values we've highlighted before, now, I'm thinking you're focusing more on the pricing and not the costs.
Okay, can you explain that a little bit?
Okay, so what I mean by that is, if you consider the total cost of, say, 4 junior lawyers, the annual salary of 4 junior lawyers that will help you do your research work, that might not even come up with as good results as the tool will give you. Because guess what? This tool will look at all the cases, all the emphasis on all, not just relevant and recent cases, all the cases, because you deploying the use of artificial intelligence and machine learning here goes through all the cases as far back as the 18th century to look for the most similar and most reliable and relevant case that suits your client's position.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay, I hear what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. So I know we running out of time now. I'm aware we have less than 3 minutes more. I'm happy to run a deeper demo for you, say maybe next week or 2 weeks time, if you're open to that. Mm-hmm. And by which time we can also, finalize on the pricing plan.
Yeah. I'm going to bring a junior member. I'm going to have them use it, and then we'll decide if we're looking at the one time or if we're looking at the subscription. I hear you.
Okay, cool. Well, how does next Tuesday 10 o'clock sound to you then?
Yeah, that works. Thanks. Thank you, Steve.
Cool. So aside yourself and Callum, is there any other person you would like to be part of the next meeting?
No, I think I'm going to bring a junior partner, and then I might have one of the other partners sit on it as well. But I think the only thing I need to see right now is how one of the juniors uses it.
Cool, fantastic. I'm sure all juniors. Let me warn you now. You bring a junior to this demo, they're going to literally beg you to get this for them. Anyways, nice talking. It's always a pleasure talking to you, Sheila. See you next Tuesday. I'll send you a Zoom invite link, to serve as a reminder for next Tuesday. See you next Tuesday.
Great. Thanks, Yeseed.
Bye now.
Well done. Got 27 seconds left on the clock on my side.
Thank you.
I gotta admit, I love that that last flex in there. If you bring a junior, they're going to be begging you to buy.
Exactly.
Good job setting expectations. That's so.
Thanks.
We've got a couple of minutes for judges to finish their scores. We've got one last contestant, Jake, will be setting up. Before we kind of hand it over and get it going, Yeseed, how are you feeling now? You know, you're all wrapped up. You're good. How you doing?
Relieved. Well, relieved is the right word now. That it's over. You know, it's over and
Nice.
done with. But I really feel good. Yeah, I was expecting it to be tougher than this, but somehow when I got into it, you know, I just
Excellent.
went with the flow.
So yeah, as we see everyone getting ready, I think I saw a couple more scores still coming in. So I'll take the opportunity to remind anyone, whether you're in the Zoom or joining us on YouTube, if you'd like to be notified of future demo days ahead of the live streams, you could sign up for getting notified at uvaro.com/demo day, all one word. And of course, the most exciting part about this is the demo day is the last step in the 12-week program before everyone graduates. And then we send out a hot sheet with the contact details of our graduates so that you can get in touch with them. So if you would like to get a copy of that hot sheet, you can also subscribe at uvaro.com/hot sheet. I'll get those URLs slapped up near the tail end of today's session. But again, if you're joining us or tuning in late, I wanted to make sure I get those out. And I think I've bought us a couple of more seconds. Sheila, how are we doing on scores? Are those in? Okay, I see two big thumbs up. Great. So Jake, you're our last competitor this evening. You all set there?
Those are some tough acts to follow. Congrats, guys. Those were amazing. I wish I got to go first because it is intense following you guys up, but congrats. That was awesome.
Well, going last does have that pressure, but all the judges have been drinking, so we're good now. It makes it a little easier, right?
It is. I like those odds actually, for sure.
So,
are we frozen out there? Sorry.
Once you get through sharing that introduction, we'll start the timer.
Fantastic. So my name is Jake Maisonet. I will be selling Vidyard today. Sheila will be playing the role of a team lead for about 10 product specialists who predominantly do a lot of onboarding. All right.
I am good to go when you are, Jake.
Sheila, how's it going?
Good. Hi, Jake. Good to see you.
Nice to see you for sure. Thanks so much for being here today. I know we've kind of been doing the email dance the last couple of weeks, so it's nice to be as well, I guess, as close to face as possible right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. In your last message, you mentioned that you kind of had a 15-minute hard stop for the meeting today. Is that still the case?
Yeah. I got to keep it tight today.
Okay, cool. So in light of that, I'm actually just going to dive right in just so we can maximize the time that we have together. And that way, if we do come up a little short on the end, it's some time that you can add back onto your calendar. Sounds good?
Right on. I like it.
Okay, cool. So the goals of the call today, I'd love to learn a little bit more about your business, which you guys do. And that's really just so we can make sure that we're really a good fit for each other. I have a few minutes where, depending on what we talk about, I have some product demos that I could show you. And then at the end, I would love for us to have a pretty clear path forward, whether we're a great fit for each other or if we're going to mutually part ways as friends. Sounds good?
Sounds great. I like it.
Okay, cool. So first off, congrats. I've noticed, I did a little poking around and I saw that you guys have been taking on a ton of new clients at the moment. That's awesome.
Yeah, growth. Thank you. Thanks for noticing that.
I also noticed that you haven't really done any hiring in the product specialist department though at the moment. I was wondering that outside of you guys being rock stars, by the way, how you're dealing with the influx of onboardings that you guys are taking on at the moment.
How are we dealing with it? Well, we all cry at night. No, we're okay. It's hectic for sure. There's, all of the onboarding we do is all remote, of course. So it gets a little draining to be sitting in front of the Zoom screen all the time. But we're keeping up with it. We do anticipate that we need to make some changes. Whether it's going to be bringing more bodies on or a tool to change the process, we're not really clear yet. We're kind of just in the place where we're stemming the the tide right now.
Totally. Well, either way, growth is exciting. So that's great.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you wouldn't mind walking me through your workflow a little bit. For example, we do have another couple of clients that are similar to you that talk about a lot of onboarding, a lot of webinars, and especially a lot of responses to customer inquiries after those as well. Is that a fair assumption? Is that something that you guys deal with quite a bit as well?
Yeah, so it looks similar to that. Post-sale, there's a handoff. We use a handoff process that connects us directly to the customers from whoever their rep was. But when in that handoff, they do get shot over a calendar link to a group webinar. And then there should be consistently booked a one-to-one session. That booking is not always as consistent as it could be. Sorry, not the booking, but the like whether or not they attend. That's a little inconsistent. And then from there, it's sort of on a case-by-case basis. So after the group webinar and then the first one-to-one, we really look at how much help they're going to need beyond that. Sometimes we can do it by just sending them resources, but more often than not, it requires more face-to-face time.
For sure. Do you find that after those webinars or those onboardings that you're getting a lot of questions from your clients, kind of little how-tos, something that they might have missed, looking for little explainers in that kind of sense that you
100%.
have to send them? Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to also say that they're often the same questions, not always from the same people, but the same questions over and over. Yeah.
I've heard that before for sure. And I'm guessing you are typing out kind of instructional emails and sending them off to them, correct?
Yeah.
When you're doing your onboardings or your webinars, do you find that it's a lot more helpful for you and for them to show them how it's done, essentially show them the product, show them the features, and actually walk them through it while you're talking to them, as opposed to writing out kind of an instruction sheet for them?
So in terms of the customer experience, that would be better. But like you noticed, we have an influx. We're not adding people at the moment. I don't know that that's realistic scale, like in terms of scalability.
Okay, for sure. Sorry, let me just rephrase that a little bit. When you're actually describing to them how to do something, though, do you find it a little easier when you're showing them and verbally telling them as opposed to typing it up? Forget about the time aspect of it. Just
100%. Like if I could just do that every time, that's what I would do.
Totally. Okay, that's great. But obviously, yeah, like you said, is a time thing. It doesn't really make sense. Somebody sends you a question. It doesn't really make sense to book a meeting with them just to show them a feature that might take you 30 seconds, a minute to go over, right?
Exactly.
Cool. I actually have a really cool feature here that I wouldn't mind sharing with you. I'm going to share my screen with you, and I think you're going to find this super relevant, actually. Can you see my screen there?
I do.
Okay, fantastic. So this is the Vidyard homepage, essentially, once you log in. But for the purposes of this, I want you to picture this as your product screen. And a client has written in and asked you a specific question, something that you could pretty much show them in 30 seconds to a minute, but are going to have to type up a instruction sheet for them. So instead, you're going to pull up your page. You're going to go right up to the top right corner here where you see my mouse hovering over this little green guy here.
Yeah.
That's the Vidyard extension. So when you click on that, you're going to have a couple of options. So you're going to have camera here, which will just show you your face. You'll have screen in case you're a little bit camera shy. You can still record your screen and talk to them. And for the purpose of this, I'm going to use this one here. The screen and cam is actually what you're seeing here, where it's me in the bottom corner there. And you can actually move this little bubble around. So what you're going to do is once you start recording and click your screen there, it'll give you a few seconds to prep. But essentially, you could say, hey, Sheila, thanks for the inquiry. I thought I would actually just send you a quick little video, making it a little easier for you guys to get set up. So what you're going to do is whatever you were going to do. And when you're done, just go into the bottom right corner here and click the stop button.
Okay.
So, yeah. So what's going to happen here is you're actually going to be routed over to this page here. And what's nice is when you're sending off these videos, you're actually not sending massive video files. You're sending essentially just a thumbnail and a link. So what we're doing is editing that here. So you can go demo And if you scroll down, you can see your thumbnail options. Now you can get creative with some animated ones, but for the purpose of this, we're gonna stick to static at the moment. And you'd click share up in the top right corner there. And if you copy link and thumbnail, it'll just do that. So you can paste that into your email, into wherever you're sending it to them, and it'll have a little picture of the thumbnail with the link as well. So when they actually receive that, it's gonna look just like this. It'll take them to a landing page just like this, where they're able to click play and watch you explain and show them exactly how it's done. How's that look to you?
That looks great. I actually, I'm going to interrupt you because I just flagged over my VP customer success. He kind of caught the tail end of it. Keith, I just saw your ears perk up there. Do you have any questions about this? What do you think?
I did. Yes. You saw that from across the room. Wow. That's, I mean, I knew my ears were big, but thanks a lot, Sheila. Yeah, I mean, this looks great. My only concern really, Adam, is how do we know how effective these videos are when we're sending them to our customers? Obviously, customer success is extremely important to me, and how they react and engage with any activity, right, that we're executing on. So how do we know how well they're engaging with this?
Sure. So just to clarify, you're wondering if on your end, you're able to see the engagement in the video?
Yeah, you know, if my team is sending out these videos, I'd love to know like how successful they are in terms of opening them up and clicking them and responding to them compared to like traditionally how we're doing it, which is just, you know, typing out an email.
Absolutely. So that is actually a cool feature as well. What you do have is you do have full analytics behind these videos as well. So if I scroll down, I have a bunch of these I've been sending for prospecting at the moment, but you'll see one that has 3 views here. If you go into insights here, it will actually take you into that exactly. You'll be able to watch where they stopped watching it, if they did, which is really helpful because it obviously shows where they lost interest. It'll show you multiple users, if it was one user that watched it twice or 2 separate people that watched it, their attention span. So a lot of cool analytics behind that as well. And to kind of link that back to Sheila there as well, we do have actually a customer story that's similar to if they were wondering kind of how successful it was. We had a customer success team of product specialists as well actually take this on, and when they reported back to us just after a week after using it, she said that they had spent less than 10, or like they've saved 10 minutes each time they had gone to send out one of those responses. And not only that, the amount of responses that were coming back after that from the clients has actually decreased, meaning that the video that they had sent was actually understood a lot better than the traditional instruction style kind of text.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot of time.
Yeah. So I'm just going to stop sharing here. Does this raise any questions for you at all?
Not about how it works. It looks awesome, right? Just in terms of the time that it's going to save us. Yeah, I guess, what does pricing look like? And then since I have Keith around, if he's got questions on what that would look like for our team, I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah, I'd be really interested to see what pricing looks like.
Absolutely. Sorry, I forgot to welcome you, Keith, when you came in there, but I would like to show you.
That's right. I apologize because I called you Adam, and you know I haven't. It's my wine popsicle. I apologize, Jake.
It's all good. It's all good. So I do actually have a pricing sheet up here as well. We are only running on a couple of minutes left, so we'll make this brief. For our next call, I would love to dive into the pricing a little more, but just to give you guys a bit of an overview before we get there. The package I was looking for you guys was actually the Teams package here, which does give you and your whole team access to it, gives you access to the analytics as well. And which is really cool is, I'm just gonna flip back over to that landing screen before, just all the Vidyard branding everywhere. You guys can actually customize that and tailor it to your brand as well, which is really cool when you, on the customer's end, when you're receiving back a question from them and it has their branding all over it, which is kind of a nice little feature as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. It sounds, I'm taking that silence as a good thing. It sounds like you guys.
Yeah.
All right, great. So like I said, it sounds like this is great. In an ideal world, when would you like to have something like this implemented?
I know my ideal world. I mean, we've got this huge influx, so for me, it would already be in place. But for sure, that's a conversation pricing wise that we'll have to have with, I think, Keith and probably also our CEO as well.
Okay, fantastic. So like I mentioned before, I'd love to set up another meeting with you guys where we can really take a deeper dive into the pricing, and we can also look at some of the other features as well. Keith, you were interested in the analytics, so we can go into a little bit of that as well. So why don't I shoot you over this recording? Feel free to share it with anybody who might be present for the next meeting, just to keep them up to speed if they have time. And that way, if they have any questions or anything, they can shoot them over my way, and then I can add it to the agenda for next week.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great.
Sounds great. Okay,
Yeah.
I know we're trying to loop in a couple of people here, so nailing down an exact time might be difficult, but I do have some time on Tuesday as well as Thursday. I'll shoot you over my calendar invite, and we can find something that works for all of us.
Yeah, shoot me over the one for Tuesday, and then if that doesn't work, we can just bump it out to Thursday.
Fantastic.
Okay.
All right, thanks so much, Sheila, and Keith, it was nice to meet you as well.
Great. Thanks, Jake.
Thanks.
All right,
Jake.
have a nice day, guys.
Sorry.
All good.
There we go. I've got 1 minute 12 left on my timer here. So well done.
Ooh.
So I know that some last minute scoring is going to be going on. So Jake, you can kind of let loose now. How are you feeling?
I feel good. I feel relieved. I think the person who's going to feel the most relieved is my wife, actually. She said, over the last 2 weeks, I've been speaking to her unintentionally in discovery style questions. Everything I've been asking her, I've been digging deeply into these questions before I'm even getting to an answer, and it's been driving her crazy. So I don't know if that's just how my brain is now wired, or if I'll wake up tomorrow back to normal, but we'll see.
I'm going to give that a try next time my wife asks me to empty the dishwasher or something.
Yeah.
I just want to confirm, I'm glad that we made it through. There were some good solid questions in there. The pricing curveball in there. Nice smooth demo. That was pretty slick. We had some good Jake inception with the multiple camera angles there, and a lot of evidence of the prospecting. There was a lot of video creation in there. Nicely done. See a ton of entries coming in, so I want to make sure that we're giving the judges time for them to get their kind of final scores in. While they're finishing it, though, one of the key steps is getting feedback and providing feedback. Now, I know Sheila's been on the receiving end of a number of demos here. She's wrangling scorecards and comments and patterns. Sheila, how are you doing on judges' scores? And are we ready to start to provide some comments, or do you need a couple of more minutes?
So scores are still coming in, but I think if we can start with feedback for Callum, do you mind starting with feedback for Jake, please? That'll let us get the last few judges' scores in.
Yeah, sure, definitely. It was so weird listening to that because I felt like it was like looking back in one of my old demos or something. I just heard a lot of stuff that I used to use there. Maybe you found a recording something, Jake. I don't know. I saw Alex, I think it was Alex in the chat, saying how natural he was. Smiles and laughter pretty much from the beginning, which was awesome. Really sets the tone for Sheila feeling comfortable on the other end. What else have I got here? You set an upfront contract, and I couldn't be happier to hear that because there's a few of my class sitting in here who are going to be doing this in, 4 weeks' time. So please do that if you're in my class and you're listening, Matt and you. Keith asked a question which could sort of have been an objection, and he handled it so well by clarifying. Essentially, you bought yourself time a little bit there, Jake, and clarified just to see what any sort of underlying issue, and if it was sort of a shallow objection or a deeper objection. Yeah, and then you use in an ideal world, in the ideal world scenario. So that's straight out the Callum sales vocabulary. So I loved hearing that one. The one feedback that I will give, I heard a few assumptive type of questions when you were going through your discovery where it was kind of, I'm assuming that, or I'm guessing that. Too many of those could tend to be a bit risky sometimes, but I'm nitpicking with that. Overall, I thought it was great.
Nice. It's great details. Again, for all of the contestants, not just Jake, everybody will get some comments, but also the detailed scorecards. So you can see on the 5 different metrics where you were strongest and where there's opportunities to improve. Sheila, you want to continue the feedback process?
Absolutely. If we can actually go to Drew, I believe he has feedback for both Tinee and Jame. If you're ready, Drew.
I am ready. Great job, everybody. And take a big, deep breath. I thought it was funny. I saw Jame, he came up because I think he was unmuted, and I just saw him at the end of the demo, which is great. And I feel like everybody should just take a big, deep breath. And first, before Tinee and Jame, just want to say everyone, it was really awesome. I think what stood out for me about all the demos was just the fact that there was so much discovery and questions and rapport at the beginning before just like jumping right into a demo. I feel like a lot of reps that are starting out really just want to get in there and just show what the product does, but everybody did a great job of asking those discovery questions before getting into the demo. Tinee, I think it was awesome rapport. It's super upbeat. That recap at the very beginning, talking about LinkedIn, asking some questions. You referenced the digital conference that Sheila was running. It really made like that bond right away. And I felt like asking for a follow-up meeting or connecting with her again, it's going to make that even more easy because you're like buddies, which is really nice. And Jame, yeah, again, great rapport right off the top. I think that story about the bike and how you engage the customers and you saw it and I wrote in the comments that you're buttering the bread right off the top, and that always makes the prospect really happy that you're interested in their product and their service and that sort of thing. And that was really awesome. And then the other thing that I wanted to note is that I always demo with a pen in my hand too, and make notes on a piece of paper. And I saw you doing that at the very beginning. And I think that's a nice thing to keep going and always kind of keep going back to those notes and writing down those pain points or numbers or anything that you want to come back to help build that business case. It's nice to do that because it's hard to keep everything in your mind. And when you get these like little points that pop up, it's nice to write them down so you can come back to them. So great job, both of you, and great job, everybody.
Right on. And then I think I have Keith. Do you mind giving some feedback to Yeseed?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, great job, everybody. I mean, I know how difficult it can be just demoing and like doing role playing with like one other person. So doing it with a whole room full of people, I mean, that's got to be stressful. So awesome job to everybody. Yeseed, the first and foremost, your personality, and just your, you know, we say it a lot, your rapport, but really you just have such a warm, inviting personality, right? That makes people want to talk to you. And I found myself several times throughout your demo and conversation with Sheila, just recognizing that I myself was smiling. So number one, and that's not, I don't think something you can teach or you can learn, that's just kind of a part of your own authenticity. So great job bringing that to the table, because I truly do think like that authenticity is what's always going to be the differentiation between you and everybody else, regardless of the product or solution that you sell. So honor that and keep cultivating that moving forward. A couple of things that I wrote down, you know, not only you, but everybody, right? Great job respecting time and setting agenda on the front end. I think that is always the right move. Great discovery questions. You know, I always talk with other people about digging a product size hole, right? Like I'm at SalesLoft, I dig a SalesLoft size hole. You did a great job at digging that hole that naturally and organically leads a prospect or, you know, to your product, as opposed to just kind of leading with the product on the front end. So good job there. Sharing the relevant customer, super fire. You know, and the fact when she was like, oh, like she recognized it. And she was like, oh, wow, like you guys were a part of that. Like, you know, that instantly like bought you some cred there. So great job using that and using it strategically. The only piece of feedback that I would say, also, I love, you know, at the end asking for other stakeholders that you may need to pull in for that next demo. It's always smart. The only thing that I would say in terms of of pricing. I do like that once you said the pricing that you then asked if that was in line with expectations. I say that quite a bit, and I think it's really powerful because you kind of get that that understanding of how they feel about it. I loved the laugh when Sheila said that's a little bit high. Just the fact that you laughed and said, "Oh, really?" Amazing. What I would say is, especially in that particular pricing model where they had like a per, like you could pay just like per service as opposed to like a different tiers of a subscription, I would probably maybe not have showed the pricing laid out like that. In other situations, like with the Vidyard stuff, maybe I would have, but I always kind of shy away from showing those packages because just speaking from a psychological level, regardless of whether I fit into the enterprise bucket or not, I'm going to see that per, I'm going to see like, oh, I can do this per person or I can do this for free. And I'm just automatically going to anchor myself to that. So maybe next time, I always like to say, this is kind of the range. I would anchor myself to the higher number. And then as the evaluation moves forward, we can definitely tighten that up. But overall, great job.
Right on. And I think our last judge to weigh in is for Adam, Shane. Where did you go?
Hey, yeah. So, so I just want to echo what everyone else said. And everyone did such a great job. It was really hard filling out this score sheet, just because everyone did so well. And we're like seasoned veterans at these calls. And speaking of seasoned veterans, Adam, I think there was 2 things that you did that were almost like advanced sales techniques to me. First one being just your calm, cool, collected cadence. It goes such a long way in building confidence and making, your prospect, but also everyone else on the call just feel like, fully confident in exactly what you're presenting to us. And the other thing that I was really impressed with was like the amount of control you exercised on the call. So, you ask a question and then Sheila gave an answer and you kind of narrowed in on a certain part of that answer, and that like helped you ask your next question, and also and how you kind of controlled the whole call in general was really impressive to me. It's similar to what Callum said. If I'm picking nits here, I would say that sometimes the questions could be a little too assumptive. Like, sometimes if you say like, hey, what are your thoughts on this? Is it X, Y, or Z? That could limit what the answer is. But otherwise, great job to you and to the rest of the team. It was awesome to see everyone's presentations there.
Thanks, Shane. Okay, Joseph, our scores are in. Do we have any other points to hit?
No, we've got our scores in. We're ready to get to the winner. I've got a couple of housekeeping items afterwards, but then we'll get everybody out well on time. So I think we're sitting at a good spot. Sheila, are you ready to share who the winner is?
I am, and I don't even know where to start. I hope you have the drum roll thing set up. And Matt, I see your question. We failed to get our poll up in time, so we're going to take care of that in class tomorrow with our group. Okay, thank you. So I know I posted about it earlier today, and everybody's been saying, and I'm so proud of you guys and to the whole group that's here to support our competitors as well. This could have been any of you up here. It was such a hard decision to put you guys in these seats. And again, our judges have had the toughest time. The point margins are very close. Okay, so please internalize that we're talking about not even full point differences. We're talking about decimal points here making the difference. So this is really close. But oh, Joseph, can I get the drum roll?
Let's get that.
Oh, it's too quiet. I want like mega noise.
We'll have to get another one then.
Zoom drum roll. Okay, that's the finger wiggle from everyone. So our 2020-6 winner of our demo day competition this time is Jake. Congratulations. Wait, what? Awesome job, Jake. Congratulations.
That was amazing to watch. The questions, the curveballs from surprise VP sales to CEOs coming and challenging. There was some good fun in that. So well done, everyone. I did mention we've got a little bit of housekeeping. So I'm going to take a quick moment to share my screen and hit just a couple points, and then we'll let everybody take off for the evening. So first off, as well, if you'd like any introductions to anyone who presented today, any of the grads, let us know. We're happy to facilitate those introductions. You can hit up any of the Uvaro team, myself, instructors, career team. Feel free to hit us up. We're accessible, and everyone is first name at uvaro.com. So don't say you don't know how to get a hold of us. And then, of course, I did mention it earlier. If you'd like to tune in to any of our future demo days, you can sign up at uvaro.com/demo day, and you'll get notified of the live stream, and you'll get the URL before we go live. And if you'd like to get introduced to our grads as they graduate, you can sign up for our hot sheet. Our next hot sheet goes out next week. So don't worry, you haven't missed it. And that only goes out once a month. So it's not a huge flood of emails, but you can always sign up there. The last thing that I'd love to reiterate is to everybody who presented today, congratulations. Getting here is a tough journey. Making it through the gauntlet is also a big challenge. So congratulations. And to our judges, thank you, because we couldn't do this without your support and your contribution. It's one thing for us in class to look at a cold call practice, an objection, and offer commentary. It's another to create a live fire situation. And thank you for giving such valuable feedback and making this possible for all of our grads. So to everyone, congratulations.